Ever wonder about those incredible bands that blazed through the 1960s, only to seemingly vanish as the next decade dawned? The 60s were a revolutionary period for rock music, a time when rock and roll branched out into exciting new territories like hard rock and the mind-bending sounds of psychedelia. While some bands from that era cemented their legacy for decades to come, others, despite their initial spark, faded from the spotlight as the 70s rolled in. Let's take a trip down memory lane and revisit three such bands, exploring what made them so special and why their fame proved so fleeting. The Youngbloods. One-hit wonders? The Youngbloods are often cited by fellow musicians and die-hard fans as pivotal figures in the development of folk and psychedelic rock. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite their influence, they are largely remembered for just one major hit from the 1960s, Get Together. This cover of Chet Power's song cracked the top 40 in the US, becoming an anthem of peace and unity. And this is the part most people miss. While they possessed incredible musical talent, the band struggled to replicate their initial success. They managed only one more minor hit on the Billboard Hot 100 in the following decade. Sadly, the Youngbloods called it quits in 1972, reuniting briefly in the mid-1980s for a short while. Was it changing musical tastes, internal struggles, or simply bad luck that prevented them from achieving lasting stardom? What do you think? The Cufflinks, studio magic that deserved more. The Cufflinks were a fascinating American pop-rock project, a studio band, meticulously crafted rather than organically formed. I can't help but think they deserved a bit more love back in the 1960s. They scored a single top 10 hit in 1969 with Tracy, a beautiful showcase of the vocal harmonies and innovative recording techniques that were becoming increasingly popular at the time. Think of it as a perfect snapshot of the era's sonic experimentation. But here's where it gets interesting. Their subsequent singles, When Julie Comes Around, 1969, and Run Sally Run, 1970, achieved only modest chart success. The band's official breakup date remains somewhat unclear, though their last known release appears to have been in 1975. Do you think the manufactured nature of the band hindered their long-term appeal, or were they simply overshadowed by other acts? Bubble Puppy, Texas psychedelia's underrated gem. Do you remember Bubble Puppy, the whimsical psychedelic rock band hailing from Texas? Active from 1967 to 1972, with occasional reunions sprinkled throughout the years, they're still technically together today. But here's the kicker. Their charting hits were all concentrated at the very end of the 1960s. Hot Smoke Sassafras and If I Had a Reason were memorable acid rock tracks in 1969, along with their debut album, A Gathering of Promises. Bubble Puppy arguably stands as one of the most underrated rock bands of the 60s. After their initial burst of success, they seemed to fade from view as the 1970s took hold. Their second album failed to chart, and the band ultimately disbanded in 1972. Was their unique blend of psychedelic and hard rock simply ahead of its time? Or did they lack the marketing push needed to break through to a wider audience? Why do you think Bubble Puppy never reached the same heights as some of their contemporaries? Share your thoughts in the comments below.